We're going to get a little Dickensian here and tell you a tale of two cities. One is London and the other is Washington. Two cities and their plans for big banks. Let's go now to Lizzie O'Leary for that story. Lizzie?
Yeah, Scarlett, so we're going to continue the Dickens metaphor. Clearly, we've already seen the worst of times in the financial system, but now we've got both the U.S. and the U.K. moving to overhaul their systems. You were just talking about Barney Frank, and they're doing it very differently. Let's look at the U.K. We're talking about the possible breakup here. Lloyds, RBS, then that new bonus code that uses less cash, more stock, while over here in the U.S., the draft plans that we've seen in Congress don't limit bank size. They raise capital requirements, they have a systemic risk regulator, and they create a fund to wind down a failed bank, but there is no size restriction. Why the different approach? Well, one reason is that the UK system and their banking system is just so concentrated.
The British banks are much bigger for the size of the economy than the US banks are. They're a lot more concentrated in Britain. So they have more of a too big to fail problem than we do. And they also had to put a lot of money into rescuing their banks, more proportionally than we did into ours.
Now, Elliott and others make the argument, though, that there need to be big institutions in the U.S., big global institutions to service big companies, provide economies of scale. If you had, say, 10 mini Citigroups, it just wouldn't be as cost effective. But there's also a very big political difference. Don't forget that. The British system moves a lot faster than the U.S. The Prime Minister and Parliament, same parties, same agenda. And even here, when you've got the White House and both chambers controlled by the Democrats, they're not always on the same page. Yesterday, in fact, Barney Frank reversed course on how to pay for those big bank failures because Democrats, members of his own party, complained. Now, there is one congressman who likes a little bit about what he sees in London. Barney Frank's number two wants to limit the size of some big banks. Scarlett?
Thank you so much, Lizzie O'Leary, for us in Washington.